morning. Okay, we're here for the professional development session. My name is Ms. Wright. Okay, I'm gonna explain to you, what professional development we're here for and why. Okay, we're here for the differentiated instruction professional development. Our location, of course, is South Miami Middle School, and I'm sorry about the location, but we had to get a location that was neutral for the North and Deep South. And today is July 5th, 2019. Our time was for 3 o'clock p.m. And the reason for this professional development was because I emailed you all out a survey, the needed assessment survey, and this was the results, which was differentiated instruction and professional development. Okay, now, what is differentiated instruction? Differentiated instruction. Differentiated instruction is when you are teaching the same material to all students but tailoring instruction to meet individual student needs based on their readiness, interest, or learning style. Okay? Teachers may need to design lessons, implement the use of different resources, break the class up into smaller groups, and most important, to read data in order to identify the levels of each student. Any questions so far about what is differentiated instruction? Okay, we're gonna move on. Okay, so DI, differentiated instruction, job embedded learning opportunities. Okay, our first one we're gonna discuss, we're gonna talk about grouping students based on data. Data is what we use iReady. So we use the iReady diagnostic test, and that tells us what level each student is on. So with that, you're able to group your students according to, if they're low functioning, they may be 1 or 2 grade levels below, they may be on grade level, or they may be above grade level. So that's why the use of data is very important. And then you create tier lessons. The same thing, you create those lessons based on the student's instructional level, whether they below, on grade level, or above grade level. And hands-on activity. Some students learn visually, some students learn verbally, but you have those students who need hands-on activity in order to understand the skills that's being presented. And we do assessing students' learning using informative assessment. Okay, what is a formative assessment? A formative assessment, if I was to ask a question to the whole group, and all you're doing is you're verbally giving me the answer. It's not something where we use pen and paper, or you're gonna be graded on. It's just informing the teacher that the student knows something about the skill that we're working on. Okay, now, we're gonna discuss materials for the differentiated instruction. Okay, you have reteach lesson. The same thing what I just talked about. Reteach lesson, I may give the student the same exact lesson in order for them to understand. But with that reteach, it may be watered down, okay? It's to help the students to have some understanding of what's being taught. Then you have lower level readers. Same thing, you have a book, you're in the 4th grade, but you may have a 3rd grade book, but with the same skill. Then you have grade level readers. You'll have a fourth grade book, not the reading book, but the small little readers. Then you have enriched learning. Enriched learning are for those students who are above grade level. Okay, so those are our high functioning students. And then you can use the internet. You can the internet and videos are amazing resources for DI. Magazines, we can use magazines to show our learning, our ELL students, okay? Because of the language barrier, we need them to understand the vocabulary. So we may have the word and we may have a picture that's gonna give them an idea of what that word means. Any questions? So I'm gonna show you, to help you understand the materials by showing you the importance of here's a lesson plan. When you do your lesson plan, you want to try to implement how you're gonna do your DI. Okay, we're gonna look here. The lessons, the unit is reading and social study, and the skill is cause and effect. Okay, I'm just gonna scroll down to the part for differentiated instruction. And right here, it's important too, okay? This gives the teacher, or maybe if the teacher's not here, it may be another teacher to step in, or a substitute, or whomever. Okay, this gives the person the idea of who are the students and what they're working with. Okay, right here, it says there's a total of 18 students. 6 has an individual educational plan, an IEP. You have 2 who are maybe artistic. You have 5 students on grade level and 5 who are above grade level. So it gives that sub or whomever an idea of what they're working with. Then like here, we talked about it from in terms of assessment. So this lesson plan really breaks down the whole lesson in the differentiated instruction. It gives you the material we're gonna use, the vocabulary, and right here, grouping, okay? It says 5 students in the green group above grade level, given instruction during isolation and independent. That means those students doesn't need a teacher one-on-one. They don't need one-on-one, okay? And for the other 5 students who are in the yellow group, they need assistance, but they need very minimum assistance because they're on grade level. Then you have the 8 students who are below grade level. They need the teacher full assistance. So that's how we come up with your grouping. Then here again, it talks about differentiated. But right here, I want to show you what we talk about when we're assessing. Okay, we have 3 sessions in this test, where 5 are multiple choice questions, then you use the graphic organizer fill-ins, and then you answer a writing prompt. It's broken down right here of what the 3 groups will be assessed on. The green group, which is our high function group, the no accommodation, no modification. They will be given all sessions of the assessment, okay? Then the yellow group, those that are on grade level, will be given all sessions of the assessment, but with minimum teacher support. Then we have our red group, will be given 5 multiple choice questions and 3 fill-in questions. Look here on the graphic organizer, it's 5 fill-in questions, but because they are working below grade level, they will only get 3. And for the writing prompt, they need to only write 1 paragraph with 5 sentences, where the green group and the yellow group will write 2 paragraphs. So that's how you differentiate your instruction based on the kids' instructional level. Okay, I'm gonna go back to the PowerPoint. Okay. So now we're here. I'm gonna show you a video. This video is gonna model differentiated instruction from the beginning to the end, from the planning all the way to the students joining back together and the teacher giving them feedback.
They feel supported. They know if something is difficult for them, there's something that's a little more in line with their strengths coming up soon. So it really makes education fun and approachable. I really think it's the most effective way that I have seen to teach.
The vision and the mission of Highlander is to use innovative practice as a social catalyst. We want our kids to be able to do anything any other kid from Providence could do.
We use differentiation all across the curriculum here at Highlander, and especially in the first grade. Although the content is the same, having the stations really allows me to tailor my lessons to each individual group of learners. So how the differentiation looks in my classroom, we start off with the whole group lesson. So let's get our reading glasses on. let's get the letter part of our brains activated. This section of our curriculum, we have been looking at nonfiction texts. When we're looking at our book today, we're going to be thinking about where we can get information. And then in the phonics realm, we focused on contractions. We're taking two words, and what are we sticking them together with?
Apostrophe.
Yes, Karen. And then we break off into our small groups. So our yellow group is still learning how to do a lot of our literacy things. The green group is doing pretty well, but has a few things to work on still. And our blue group is hitting all the first grade standards and needs to be stretched. So our differentiation kind of takes two forms. The first is by student grouping, and the second is by modality of learning. We have 20 minutes per station, and there are 3 of the stations. The students will rotate through all 3 stations each day.
So our first station for the blue group is the computer station.
The students use a Google form to check in. They'll normally watch a video or carefully observe a photograph and answer some questions about that.
We watched a video about how to grow a seed. We had to type in our favorite part and why.
After they finish that form, they can check out an ebook.
And then you could do this game of reading called Teacher Must Know How to Read.
We're delivering things in a way that is visual, that is auditory, that is individual to the students through the technology.
After that, she rings the bell.
Clean up, switch up, first grade readers.
We switch to the sort station.
Our sort station is more of a physical modality. They're using their bodies, which is so important for first graders. They need to move. Kids are cutting out the words, they're gluing them down.
We have contrasting. It's fun because it's all mixed up and it had to find the right pieces. And then after we do that, we do rainbow writing.
That's another way that we differentiate. If students are able to get through more work, then they have some freedom of choice. Clean up, switch it up. The last station, we're talking to each other and learning from each other. So that's more of the social interaction type of modality.
I like the teacher station because we get to be with Miss Gallagher. We get to learn some stuff.
So take a look at the illustrations on this page right now. The content is the same, but it can be differentiated in a number of ways. My blue group, for example, they know what text is. They know what illustrations are. And so for them, I create a Venn diagram.
You need to make one circle like this, and then you pick another circle over the last one.
Oh. For the yellow or the green group, I'm just leaving the Venn diagram out of it. We're still doing essentially the same thing, but just that piece that might be confusing to some of those students, I just leave that out for a later time. They'll get to it. All right, so clean up and meet me in the middle of the road for writing. Nice work, first grade.
Being able to move through those stations, it's just another level of helping the students learn as much as they can each year. They really feel excited when they make that growth.
They're proud of themselves. They feel like they're effective learners. As a teacher, honestly, it is a lot of work, but the results that you see and the happy faces of the kids and the good feeling that you have in the classroom is worth it.
Okay, so you all seen the video on differentiated instruction. So that would be an ideal, rotation, data that's been used to group the students. That's ideal, because you know, sometimes the students can get, the behavior can be kind of crazy. But that's where you have to, develop classroom management, okay? So that was an ideal, way of doing differentiated instruction. She had the rotations going on, she had the different works for the different grade levels. Like when you say she saw with the blue group, she used the graphic organizer, she said how they was, they were able to, they understood text, so they was more advanced, okay? she had where they used the computer station, the sorting station, and the teacher-led station. Those are all DI, okay? And you seen at the end where it showed you how at school, they did very well overall within that, county. Maybe all because of DI. Any questions so far about the video? Okay, so now I'm gonna discuss the data that's suggested to DI, for professional development. Okay, I emailed you all a, survey, and in the survey you had between three, you had to choose which was much more needed, for you. So we had between differentiated instruction, technology, and classroom management. If you look at the chart, you will see, 13% chose classroom management as they, needed assessment, and 20% chose technology. But overall, 67% chose DI as their much needed, professional development. I'm gonna keep going. As they much needed professional development. So this is why we chose, differentiated instruction as the professional development that we're doing now. Now I'm gonna, justify why, DI is needed, at least for our school. Okay, justification on why DI was selected. After reviewing the teachers' data in class observation, I noticed that teachers that were implementing differentiated instruction, students seemed to improve compared to the teachers who did not implement differentiated instructions. It was evidence to show that, example, Ms. Gonzalez's class, who implemented DI, the kids improved. They made gains based on their diagnostic I-ready to their mid-I-ready, compared to Ms. Rogers. Ms. Rogers didn't use DI, so her kids pretty much stayed the same or probably went up one notch. So it showed the leadership team that DI really works, okay? And then after giving some of the teachers some feedback and listening to their concerns, they informed me that they would need some training in order to feel comfortable to implement differentiated instruction. So as a result, that's why we are here, okay? Okay. Why DI will be a long-lasting professional development capacity at Olinda Elementary. Okay, you know, at the beginning we take the I-ready diagnostic, we have the mid-test, I-ready test, then we have the final, and then we have the FSA, our state standard assessment, okay? So, data from their I-ready diagnostic, and then the final I-ready assessment, along with the state assessment, has proven to the leadership team at Olinda Elementary that differentiated instruction, professional development will be long-lasting. Data shows that 75% of the students have made gains on the I-ready assessment. As for the state assessment, the school grade went from a C to a B. So we made one grade level, we went up one grade level, which was great. Any questions? Okay, after, I'm gonna email you again after this, survey, where you survey how this, PD worked for you. You're gonna let me know what you like, what you didn't like, or what needs to be changed. Okay, thank you.